Governor State University. Thank you to GSU President Dr. Cheryl Green, who I'm going to ask to come on closer. I don't know how she ended up. Thank you so much.
Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton visited Governor State University to meet with students, staff, and administration to address the ongoing teacher shortage, which has impacted school districts across the country. University President Cheryl Green joined the Lieutenant Governor for a press conference.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Just recently, Governor State University received over $1 million as part of the Early Childhood Access Consortium for Equity through the Act of July 28, 2021. In the last month, the Community Foundation of Will County, via Amazon, gave the university over $60,000 in grant funds to develop and launch an 18-month paraprofessional program for early childhood education to create career paths and fill a void in the schools and our early childhood education centers.
Becoming a teacher today is more important than ever. As an undergraduate, I look forward to encouraging the next generation. Teachers provide the power of education to today's youth, thereby giving them the possibility for a better future.
And of course, I want to thank the students who have shared their wisdom with me and my team, because I know how important it is to support our teachers and institutions of education, because you're helping to build our next generation. And that's why education is really one of the top priorities in our state's latest balanced budget. We're raising overall investments in education to $12 billion. And that means a one year, $122 million increase in MAP grant funding and more than doubling funding in scholarships for teachers of color.
From your experience today, what stood out to you from administrators and faculty here at GSU?
Well, I think the thing that stood out to me first and foremost was a real dedication to the students and the community here at GSU, but also in making sure that equity is right at the center. I heard so many innovative ideas around how can we think about solving the challenges that we are facing in the field of education, and not just allowing the status quo to continue. So I heard a lot of ideas, I heard a lot of excitement and enthusiasm, I heard the spirit of collaboration and partnerships, and I heard those who said this is not going to be the last conversation that we have, that these are conversations that need to continue, and not just the conversations, but getting to real solutions, and that's what we're committed to doing. But we're also hearing that we need to do more to lift up the field of education and the professionals that are our educators, who don't always hear that they are appreciated. My mom was a teacher, my sister is a teacher, teachers are very close, and none of us would be where we are today without educators. And so we have to do more of lifting up the profession and letting teachers know that they are appreciated, not just with our words, but as we think about the policies that can show our support.
How is the administration addressing the teacher shortage?
Well, the university has been committed to preparing and developing teachers for the state of Illinois for a number of years. And we are aggressively seeking funding to pay for programs at every level. And that's one of the reasons that I'm so very excited about the support from the governor and Lieutenant Governor Stratton, because they have been partners who have contributed to the funds that are needed so that we can design and implement the necessary educational programs.
Just say one other thing to that, Madam President. One of the things that I heard while I was here on campus was something that I don't think I've heard elsewhere, and that is the Mindful Educator program, and really focusing on mindfulness as part of how it can be incorporated into the classroom. And I just thought about how much of what we've been talking about in these past 2 years has been the stress that everyone is under, not just our students, but the educators, not just the educators, but the parents, and how there is a specific focus here at Governor State University, which the students all told me that that was one of the things that they really appreciated, understanding mindful practices and how to bring that into the classroom.
Governor State University remains dedicated to finding solutions to improve the field of education. With the help of Lieutenant Governor Stratton, real change in education is on the horizon. This is Dante Corona reporting for GSU TV.
Gas prices have been affecting the nation since earlier this year. However, April 12th, President Biden announced a plan that could turn this gas price crisis around, suggesting heightening the production of ethanol-blended gasoline. Gas prices have been up and down for years and took a spike once again when Russia invaded Ukraine, inciting a war. In fact, according to NBC4, gas prices had reached records high in March of this year.
It's kind of becoming more and more out of pocket, like expense. Like recently, I had to almost put $95 in.
Biden's plan to increase production of ethanol-blended gasoline is believed to lower those prices. According to Longview News Journal, the plan is to authorize year-round use of E15, which will affect the gas supply, prices, and environment, as it's supposed to be cheaper than that of actual gasoline. While gas prices are said to be cut by an apparent 10-cent average with the use of the E15 alternative, according to Barron's, there are questions of if the cut in prices is worth the risk to the environment. As Longview News Journal states, environmentalists believe an increase in ethanol production can lead to greenhouse gas emissions and soil erosion. Despite concerns, the plan for the corn-based fuel is set to begin sales this summer. This is Jazmine Grisby, reporting for Governor State University.
It was senior picture day at Governor State University this afternoon. As the students posed for the picture, we geared up to ask the university public about the lifted mask mandate in Illinois. On February 28th, Governor Pritzker lifted the mandate as COVID-19 hospitalizations continue to drop in Illinois.
For me, my comfort level will depend on where I'm at and whether I continue to. In some open areas like this, it's been wonderful because I can actually see the students and recognize them after being virtual for 2 years. So that is wonderful to actually see faces and see smiles and get excited. But I still continue to respect an individual business or home that would request everyone still continue to wear it. In my office, in close proximity to other students, I would still want to wear it. But I will absolutely be taking some advantages to being able to take it off and see people again.
And others had a different perspective on the situation.
I'm probably going to continue to wear it, especially if I just feel like there's a lot of people around or I just feel uncomfortable. Yeah, so more than likely. It depends. For the most part, I'm assuming that Governor stays raising the mask mandate because we all were required to get vaccinated. So technically, since we're all vaccinated, the cases should continue to stay down, even with the mask mandate lifted. But research shows you can still get COVID with the vaccine, so cases could rise. They might not rise as much as they did in the beginning, but kind of like the flu. You get vaccinated for the flu, but cases still rise seasonally every now and then.
According to Illinois.gov, COVID-19 hospitalizations have dropped faster than at any point in the pandemic. Over 21 million COVID-19 vaccines have been administered to Illinois residents. However, mask mandates will remain mandatory in high-risk settings such as public transit and healthcare facilities. Governor Pritzker stated, "Many local jurisdictions, businesses, and organizations have their own mask requirements and other mitigations that should be respected."
I'm glad that they lifted the mask mandate. I think that it's time for us to start, those who don't want to wear masks should have that option not to wear masks. And those that want to wear masks, that's their choice. So I think I'm glad that he did it. I'm glad that they opened up the restaurants and people were able to have their own freedom. I think it's just a freedom of choice. If you want to wear a mask, then that's your choice. If you don't want to wear a mask, then that's your choice. I don't think COVID numbers will go back up. I think that the COVID numbers will continue to go back down.
As we head into the new year, we may begin to see things slowly getting back to normal. According to former Illinois Department of Public Health Director Ngozi Ezike, while masks will no longer be required in most indoor locations beginning February 28, they are still recommended.
At Governor State University, students can visit the Visual Arts Gallery to draw inspiration from visiting artists and display their own work to the public. During the month of March, visiting artists Jennifer Manbach and Stacia Yebanese combined their works together to create Repetitious Accumulation Where Things Collect. The curator of the Visual Arts Gallery is Jeff Stevenson, a 30 years plus visual artist. With his expertise, he knows why college galleries are a great outlook for upcoming artists.
I think it's important for students to have an opportunity to display their art because it's really part of being a professional artist. And they're always surprised at how different the artwork looks once it's in a professional space and it has proper lighting on it and it has a lot of space around it because they're used to working on it in the studio or at home up close. And then when they bring it in here, they're like, wow, I thought this was a lot bigger.
Inspiration from arts come in different forms. Students at GSU have a great opportunity to come on their own or visit one of the artist receptions. Each learning style can impact students.
Well, I think that would really depend on the person. I think some people's learning style is more explorative and that they want to experience it on their own and have time to reflect and think about it. But I certainly get a lot of good feedback from students when they get to meet the artist and ask questions face to face and really look closely at the artwork. It's a really valuable experience.
A master student and grad assistant to the Visual Arts Gallery is Heather Cox. She explains that this space can be adapted to any needs.
So we actually just had an impromptu show that one of our undergraduate students, Dominique, put together. And it was work from freshmen, sophomores, and I think even some juniors. And it wasn't framed work at the time, but it was just an impromptu show where people that don't normally get a chance to have their work in the gallery were able to.
She will be displaying her art to the public during the summer of 2022. The spacing of the art gallery needs to match the artist's vision so that it properly represents the art.
Well, I think what's creative and unique to my work for this space is that it's evolved over time. I think that in any space you realize that your work, it's not just about the work, it becomes about the space and the work together. So I will have pieces that are just framed work as well as pieces that may be flowing off the wall and can be interacted with.
Galleries like these are a great stepping stone for any student that is trying to make it into the creative world.
This experience is incredibly beneficial for an artist and a professional practicing artist after this, because this is kind of it's the goal, right? It's like you want to be in different galleries. You want your work to be shown and people to appreciate it and maybe even take a piece home with them. So to have the opportunity to have my work in this space for a whole entire month, it gives me time to kind of market with people or have people come in and, email people that I know to come in and see the show. And that way maybe get my name out there a little bit.
Visit the Visual Arts Gallery the next time you're on the GSU campus. For more information about the Visual Arts Gallery or the award-winning Nathan Manilow Sculpture Park, visit govst.edu/gallery.
Welcome to Governor State University TV, where today we'll be talking about the talent that Governor State has to offer, the Transformation Gospel Choir. These students use their singing to worship the Lord and praise Him. Let's dive deeper into what more they got going on.
This was all Marquise's idea. We all work in the ARC, the Student Success Commons, like the Writing Center. And he was like, I was thinking about starting a choir. And so a lot of us work in there together. So he was like, hey, do you guys want to help me bring this into fruition? And so it started off, he needed temporary people to take it to Student Senate because they have to approve it. So he was like, hey, can y'all fill these slots for me if y'all don't want to go through with it? In the long run, that's fine, but I need a couple people right now. So we was like, yeah, we'll do it. And then it was kind of just off from then. And we all kept the same position. So that's how we still here today.
I feel like it's a great space for like-minded individuals to come together and show their support for one common goal, which is to spread the word of God through music.
I believe gospel choir is just a an opportunity for people to come together and sing. Even if you're not even really religious, still music is like a way to let yourself be free. And Marquise is really good at helping us, through that and coaching us, and yeah.
GSU students don't have the outlet to be able to use their art by way of voice, especially those who are in the a religious community. So the Transformation Gospel Choir actually was a organization a couple years ago, but me and a few students decided to kind of bring it back to fruition, and it's been pretty great, thus far. And secondly, we're growing. So we're coming from, not having a foundation because it was once, lost because of the pandemic, but we're coming back and we're only expected to go, further. We have got invited into a few events, and so we look forward to anybody coming out and to support us. We are also open to all members of the student body, community, faculty, staff, anything is in that nature. We do rehearse here in Governor State University in Sherman Hall at 7:30 on Thursday nights. So if you are ever interested, come on out and use your voice.
Make sure you go check out the Transformation Gospel Choir from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you for watching Governor State University TV.
At Governor State University, students are selling donuts and bracelets for more than cash. They are going on a trip abroad to help local communities. Marquise Parks talks about the studies trip.
Yeah, so we actually are fundraising so we can go on the public health brigade to Ghana. So it's kind of like a study abroad trip, and what we do is just, give back to different countries.
Donuts and bracelets are being sold in the main entrance, and all profits go back to the students.
Yeah, so it actually is a group effort. How we're going to do it this time is, anyone who comes out to help, we'll just split the cost by, who comes out and sells the donuts. We also are selling bracelets. So we've made bracelets, and we have a craft table, so we're actually selling it there too. So anything that we can do, as a collective, we're just going to split those costs so we can all, make it easy for ourselves to go to Ghana.
From May 17 to the 29th, Parks will be going to Ghana, with this being his first international trip. Melody Richardson explains what the Public Health Brigade is constructing in Ghana.
So we are going to be building septic systems so that the local families can put toilets in their homes, because many of them don't have toileting access in their homes, and that can be really unsafe for the families. And then we are also going to be going into the schools and interacting with students and families to teach them about basic hygiene to prevent transmission of diseases. One thing that I expect to learn is to become comfortable in a place that's unfamiliar to me. I think that's really important, especially for the career that I'll be going into with speech therapy, is learning how to interact with people that come from different backgrounds than me and being able to relate to them and work with them. So I'm really excited about that.
Student leader of the Public Health Brigade is Peter Brazzi. He traveled to Ghana before the pandemic and is going back to learn something new.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the community has evolved since we were last there in 2019. We keep in contact with some of the community members and the citizens of Ghana, and that includes people that live there, people that we helped build the biodigesters with, the Masons, and also people we met along the way in Ghana.
To these students, going to Ghana means much more than building. It is a chance to build something new.
When we go on service trips across the globe, it's not just service work, we also learn a lot too. So they are service learning projects, and we learn before we go on the trip, and we also learn during the trip, and we also learn a lot about each other on the trip, and we become family on the trip, and we keep those connections even after the brigade ends.
For more information about the Global Health Brigade and other service learning abroad trips, please visit govst.edu/service-learning-abroad. I am Claude T. Martinez reporting for GSU TV. During spring break, Governor State University students took time off to relax and catch up on schoolwork, but a few students went above and beyond to help their local communities. Alternative Spring Break targeted two neighborhoods. Homewood, and Richton Park, where students volunteer their time in support of aiding others.
So alternative spring break is a week long service projects or service events where we have students during the traditional, spring break week. We have students, going to the communities and just volunteering in terms of service, community building, civic engagement. Pretty much it's to inculcate the spirit of civic engagement in students.
The locations that were chosen for volunteering needed to impact the local community.
Well, we try to have a mix of it. Like when we try to find service delivery places. We try to find food pantries. We try to find things that were more physical, like constructions and Habitat for Humanity. I think we had Habitat for Humanity. We had like thrift stores as well, cloth donation stores as well. But I think ultimately we went to two places, which was the Cancer Support Center and the food pantry of Rich Township. So those are the two places we went with ultimately.
Brianna Garza volunteered at both locations, and the first location was Rich Township Food Pantry.
Tuesday, I had went to the Rich Township pantry, and there I had participated in like packaging foods, packaging the cold food, so like the frozen stuff. And then Thursday as well, when I had went there, I was doing something called like the kitty bags. So it was simply say like getting 2 juice boxes in the bag, ramen noodles, some like kitty puffs that people eat. That was also put in the bag. So then I was in charge of like just getting say like 30 bags out at a time and then just tying them, fulfilling that order.
Each student had a minimum of a 2-hour period to participate in the event, but could stay longer if they wanted. Andreas Cornejo spent his spring break at the Cancer Support Center in Homewood.
When I arrived, we were given a list of all of the patrons for the Cancer Support Center, and we called them to ask if they were going to attend an annual gala used to raise funds for the activities that actually do occur at the Cancer Support Center. After that, we took those same flyers and went to local businesses, asking them if we could hang them up to show local support and gain more traction for the event.
Alternative Spring Break had a ranking system in place where students who contributed the most hours would be named GSU Champ. Andreas came in second, and Brianna was named champion, but to them it was not about winning, it was much more than that.
Although it's a great pat on the back, I would love to see a little bit more competition. You can't make it easy for us. It's too bad we didn't have more students, but it is wonderful to receive some recognition for our efforts. And I think it is kind of encouraging to all the other students to take a day out from their regular spring break and get out there and volunteer.
Community champ, like, of course you want to win that. But honestly, like, that wasn't why I wanted to do this in the first place. I just thought, like, volunteering is something that I've always loved. I know me and my family always do that when we can.
If you want to help your local communities, join the Kaleidoscope Club for more volunteering opportunities. I am Claude T. Martinez, reporting for GSUTV.
Everybody can make a pizza, but not everybody can make a pizza right.
Welcome to Chicago Dough Company, proud partner of our very own Governor State University. Award-winning for its sausage and gyro pizza, this locally owned business has been serving the residents of Richton Park since it was established in 1976. We got a chance to speak with co-owner Rick Payne to discuss how the partnership between Chicago Dough and GSU formed. When we arrived, Rick was kind enough to show us around the kitchen and the decorated dining hall. He also shared some great tips for making some great tasting pizza.
Since 1986, so that puts it at 36 years. It's rewarding. It's nice to work within the village of Richton Park, employ kids that are at the local high schools and stuff, give them an opportunity to have gainful employment and make some money, and teach them how to do a few things in the kitchen that otherwise they might not get a chance to do. Right now, I would say labor shortage, but that's pretty much everywhere right now. It's a challenge getting people to work. It started back in, I'd say, probably 1991, 92, somewhere right around there. They actually reached out to us as far as doing some some small catering for some of the different organizations and stuff at the university, and it has since evolved into a good partnership with the school as far as donating pizzas when they have like their local when they would do their local races. They just had a thing. I'm sorry I can't remember the professor's name, but it was a robotics, and I think that was back the 1st of January, somewhere right around there. They had an event at Governor State, which went pretty well, and like I said, we had a good partnership then. Before the pandemic, we used to do a buffet. I mean, we've got a buffet table over there, and we used to get quite a bit of Governor State staff and students. The COVID has since changed, some things, but we still do get orders from GSU. Our dining room is open. Just a lot of people still don't go out to eat as much as they used to, before the pandemic. It's a pretty simple process. I mean, you start out with your basic flour, yeast, sugar, oils. We put it in the mixer, blend it up, let it rise up for a few minutes, ball it up, and then roll it out. It's no different than any other pizza place. It's just that we take there are different types of flour that you can use, and we try to use like more of the upper grade flours and stuff like that. Gyro pizza.
Gyro pizza?
Yes, it is. By far. The gyro pizza consists of, of course, your tzatziki sauce, then the gyro meat, onions, mozzarella cheese, and tomatoes. Some people like their tomatoes diced. Some people like them sliced. It's been in play, I'd say, probably about 10 or 12 years now. Getting to meet new people, having an opportunity, like I explained earlier, to show some of the kids that have worked here over the years exactly. And I always said my story is, everybody can make a pizza, but not everybody can make a pizza right. So when you come here and you work here, you're going to be able to make it right. Not at the moment. I would like to, get the dining room back going more than what it is presently, and maybe hopefully start the buffet in another, I'd say, year or so. But we'll just have to see how things, how this pandemic is working out. The Village of Richmond Park used to do a pizza challenge. I think it lasted about 4 years or so. And they would have us bring down different pizzas, and people would purchase tickets, and they would, on the back of their ticket, they'd write down, okay, hey, I had a pizza from Chicago Dough Company, what it was and what they liked about it. Then they dropped it in a ballot box, and then they just tallied it up, and we won it for best specialty pizza and actually the best sausage pizza in the Village of Richmond Park.
Next time you're in the Richmond Park area and looking for some great Chicago-style gourmet pizza, then head over to Chicago Dough Company. Not to mention, they're also hiring.
Like I said, we're always looking for new help, people that just want to learn how to make pizzas, work for a locally owned pizza restaurant, or I should say just a restaurant in general.